Well, hello, my little pickles. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. And today is scarf weather. Zero humidity, temps in the 60s. I could be in heaven today. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I've been crawling through the humidity this summer. It's dastardly, isn't it? Okay, so here we are, my little weight loss, hoping friends and peeps and pickles. We all want to be on the losing end of this battle or the maintaining end of this battle. So we're going to revisit the pilot light. And to me, the pilot light is the ever glowing little flame that could turn into a overeating, overprocessed foods, oversugared, downright binge if we aren't careful. That pilot light is always lit, hoping for some sort of entryway into eating the things that you don't want to eat. So how do you deal with the pilot light? It's always there, just like your hot water heater if it's gas. And so you need to be aware that it is there and that it is subject to visual and triggers and cravings and then sometimes giving in. You need to be very, very mindful of it. To me, my pilot light is the gateway to my addiction, which is sugar and carbs and highly refined carbs. The breads, the pizzas, the donuts, the bagels, the ice cream, the frozen candy on it, all of the CRAP of the SAD that can get you into TROUBLE, right? You don't want to be in trouble. You want to be taming whatever sort of food addiction you have. If your food addiction is something that is encased in sugar, and that sugar is your downfall, then you need to be very mindful of it and not let that pilot light turn to anything stronger inside of you. Same thing if it's a carb sort of thing. Refined carbs, not unrefined carbs. You need to be careful. I know that early in my recovery, discovery, and weight loss that began in Weight Watchers in 2014, that I was still trying to have like same items. What do I mean by this? What I mean is that I wanted something lower in sugar and carbs, ice cream, lower in sugar and carbs, pizzas, lower in sugar, lower in carbs, sort of pasta, bread, any kind of dessert, candy, cookies, any of those sorts of things. I was still sugar adapted. I was still sugar addicted. My body ran on glucose until I decided to go keto, go low carb, high fat. And so with that, I gave up the sugar. With that, I gave up all grains. First it was wheat, and then a month later, September 2015, so a year ago, it was all grains. Why? Because it's definitely easier. Why? Because dancing with other grains other than wheat, to me, is still dancing with the devil, and the devil will turn up my pilot light in a heartbeat, and then I'll be thinking I can have waffles in safety again. I can't. And I have to be very mindful of sugar-free desserts and syrups added to coffee and fake sugars and all of those sorts of things. I don't have them today. I don't have pop. I don't have soda, whether it's sugar-free or with sugar. I don't eat that way anymore. I had to give up those things. And with it, remarkably, surprisingly, went the cravings for sugar and the grains. How does that happen? Well, by not having them. I think that having any modicum of sugar or grains for me would turn up my pilot light. It would say, more, more, like an alcoholic having one wine cooler, like a drug addict having one pill stolen from his mother's medicine cabinet. Anything that could turn the pilot light up. For me, that would be a fake dessert, a fake sugared dessert, a dessert with real sugar, just half the amount, fake flour pizzas. I can have the fathead pizza made with almond meal because almond meal comes from almonds. Almonds aren't a grain. So that saves me. As far as my sugars go, I have Xyla, Xyla, in my coffee, which is a derivative from hardwood, and it doesn't spike blood sugar, or I don't think the glycemic index, and I have that. Today, for me, something that satisfies, not unlike a sugary dessert, would be a nut butter. That's how I have that. I allow my fat bomb, but I haven't had one for almost 3 weeks, which is amazing to me. And I could have one, but I've just decided, I don't know, I don't have the craving after dinner, so I'm not having one. So I'm happy with that because I don't want to trip up my pilot light. It's not my friend. It's not good for me. I can't eat fake desserts or fake breads or things like that in safety anymore. I know that because it settles in. And maybe I would have a slice of real pizza, like down in P-Town one day, and what would happen? Nothing. But you know what? The pilot light got a little bit raised on that, and it starts telling me, look, the scale didn't move. You didn't have triggers. I bet you can do this again. Maybe you can go back to having grains. Maybe you could go back to having something like soft serve ice cream. Low fat, maybe low sugar, and you can have it. Well, guess what? I'm not going to. Maybe I tried it when I was on Weight Watchers. I'm not sure. There's an ice cream place kind of across the street. I don't think I've been there for over 2 years. I don't think I have. Funny how the memory fades. But I know that I am allergic. I am allergic, that's how I treat it, to the grains and the sugars. I look at those things and I think plastic, like Karl Lagerfeld, the famous designer, who calls all of the spreads they put at his photo shoots plastic. So maybe he's bringing his little glass jars with him too. So just beware of your pilot light. It can ignite and light up and throw you totally off track because your thinking gets to be stinking and you start thinking that you can have these things in safety or in moderation. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can, and you're here to tell me that you can, and that's great. But for people like me that have food addictions, that have food allergies, as it were, we can't. Can't fool it. I don't want to have the substitute, the alternative. I want to be clean. I want to be fat adapted for keto and low carb, high fat. How do I do that? From not dancing with the devil. Who's the devil? The devil is sugars, artificial sugars, and anything that's refined carbohydrates, whether it comes in a package or a box or a bag or a spoonful. I can't have it, and I choose not to, and I had to work hard for this, really, really hard. I'm not perfect. I am totally fallible. I was a food addict in action for 63 years. So, you know, this isn't coming from some smug top of the mountain. Trust me, I was eating crap and the standard American diet for decades, trying to get away with it, trying to make a way to figure it out, to make it work. It didn't. And so here I am today. I've put a lot of work into this. I do my tracker every day. I don't take anything that I put in my mouth for granted. It is weighed and measured. I've got all the gear on my counter looking at me within a hand's reach. Why? Because I know that I cannot trust the eyeball. I cannot say, that's enough, that works, that's kind of sort of it. No, I weigh and measure everything from meats to vegetables to cheese to yogurt to fruits to nut butters to oils to butter, all of it. It's weighed and measured, and that keeps me clean and abstinent. And I wish the same for you guys too. Does it take work? Yeah, but once it's in your life, once you've integrated it into your daily routine, it's nothing. It's just part of who you are. And the outcome is more worth it because you've done it, rather than taking advantage or taking for granted that you can do it on your own. I can't do it on my own. I can't do it without my pickles. I can't do it without my tracker. I can't do it with all the podcasts that I listen to, the books that I read. It's all part of my life every single hour of the day because I have a food addiction and I don't want to cave. I don't want to cave. And I have to be okay with this and accountable to not just me, but to all of you out there too. And that keeps me clean and abstinent too. So anyway, accountability, it's big. It's big. And maybe you only have to be it to yourself, but it's still big. And honor yourself. You're the most important person in your life. And you've worked hard and you're listening to this, so why blow it with a bite of something that you're not supposed to eat, right? So be good to yourself. Aim for clean and abstinence. Get that tracker out. Make sure all the gear is on your counter within a hand's reach. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Thanks for listening. I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye for now.